On 13th August 2021, US President Donald Trump tweeted about the signing of a deal that would have long-term repercussions for the Middle East. Popularly known as the Abrahamic Accords, the agreement was signed by the UAE and Israel with the guidance of the United States. The deal not only has the ability to change the power balance in the Middle East, but also has multiple undertones to it. My name is Soham Chaudhary, and in this video we will delve deeper into the Abrahamic Accords and its implications for the Middle East. US President Donald Trump should be credited for this historic breakthrough, regardless of the nature of his personal involvement. His administration's mediation role was indispensable. The main catalyst for this deal has undoubtedly been Iran. The Gulf states feel threatened by Iran's progress towards nuclear and ballistic weapons, and realize that their sole potential ally in the region is Israel, with its vast technical capabilities and close ties to the US. Another thing that has played a part is US's unpredictability as an ally in the recent days. Both Israel and Abu Dhabi were known to be quite dismayed by President Obama's overtures to Iran, and especially the signing of the nuclear agreement. In their common view, the regime in Tehran is not the sort that would live up to its commitments. Moreover, Iran represents an existential threat to them. In other words, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or better known as JCPOA, may have unintentionally brought these two countries together, creating opportunities to share not just their angst but also intelligence and technical capabilities. The United States, starting during the Obama years, has made no secret of wanting to downsize its military commitments worldwide, including of course in the Middle East. This message has been accentuated even more dramatically during the term of Donald Trump. The agreement did make it seem as though Abu Dhabi was pressing ahead and charting an increasingly independent course of action. First, Abu Dhabi pulled its troops from Yemen and left its Saudi coalition partner hanging. Now it has gone ahead with normalizing its relation with Israel. Even if Saudi Arabia signs on to the agreement, a possibility that has been left open, it would forever be remembered as a follower, not an initiator. Arab history would not be kind to the Saudis for effectively abdicating their leadership position to the junior partner. Though it was not spelled out, there was another side to the deal that undoubtedly carried weight with the Emiratis. In the course of negotiations, the US hinted that their demand to acquire sophisticated weapons such as drones and fifth-generation fighter planes like F-35, which had been pending for years, could receive a favorable response should normalization with Israel materialize. In such a case, Congress could lift part of the restrictions imposed on weapon sales to the countries at war with Israel, and thereby helping preserve Israel's qualified military edge. The Saudis are in a totally different position from Abu Dhabi when it comes to Israel. The deal involved minimal risks for them domestically, not so for the Saudis. If the regime embraces Israel prematurely, the Saudi people might get agitated, or at the very least the country's clerics would, and that is something that Mohammed bin Salman simply cannot afford. All the young crown prince has focused on since launching his transformative project dubbed Saudi Vision 2030 is limiting the role and authority of the kingdom's conservative sheikhs. Even the perception of giving up Jerusalem to Israel could catapult the influence of the clerics to new heights. It might even bring back extremist militancy, which wreaked havoc in the country in 1979 and then again from 2003 to 2004. One thing is for sure, that Arab world's power relations have firmly shifted in favor of its smaller states, the UAE and its rival Qatar. Saudi Arabia is busy with its delicate transition, and Egypt's prestige has long since faded. The deal was a bitter blow to the Palestinians. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas compared the deal to a knife in the back, accusing the Emiratis of having betrayed Jerusalem, the Palestinian and the Saudi peace initiative. He ordered his ambassador to return from Abu Dhabi. The Palestinians had begrudgingly come to terms with the 1979 peace agreement between Israel and Egypt and the 1995 agreement between Israel and Jordan. Both were born out of strategic necessity, as a series of military defeats had severely impacted their respective economies. The Palestinians have been rejecting peace initiatives without presenting one of their own or seeking a compromise. Most recently, the Palestinian leadership rejected out of hand the Trump administration's peace plan, which provided a basis for negotiation with Israel, leading to an independent state. They were unwilling to accept the legitimacy of the Jewish state and are bent on isolating it with the help of Arab and Islamic states. However, on the thorny Palestinian issue, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed has an ace up his sleeve. Mohammed Dalan, the former security chief in Gaza, later expelled and living in exile in Abu Dhabi. Mr. Dalan is reportedly a very close advisor to the prince and a bitter enemy to Mahmoud Abbas. He will try to take over when the ailing president leaves the scene. There is another potential actor in the scene, that is Turkey. Both Israel and UAE have had their share of problems with Ankara. Turkish President Erdogan has made no secret of his intentions to assume leadership of the region, some say of the Islamic world. The UAE and Turkey clashed first over Erdogan's support for the Muslim Brotherhood, not just in Egypt but also in Qatar. The UAE and Saudis imposed a blockade on Qatar to punish the pro-Brotherhood Qatari royal family. Meanwhile, the Turks have emerged as the single most important supporter of Doha by providing much needed political and military relief. Turkey and UAE's dispute also extends to Libya, where both countries actively participate in opposite sides of a country's civil war. Israel have also clashed with the Turks. Despite a robust commercial relationship, Turkey and Israel are mired in a series of disputes ranging from Ankara's open support to Hamas to the tensions in the eastern Mediterranean, where the Turks are aggressively challenging the Greek and Cypriot maritime economic interest. Turkey has criticized and even interfered with the Egyptian, Cypriot, Greek and Israeli partnership intended to export gas to Europe from their offshore fields. Although resisting Turkey is clearly not the primary reason behind the deal, it might have played a part in the calculation. Being an Arab state and a member of the Arab League, the UAE was drawn into the Arab-Israeli conflict. Over time, however, it began to see how the conflict was hurting its interests. The normalization of relation between Israel and UAE could have implications for the ongoing conflict in Syria. While the UAE has never been a major player in the Syrian conflict, it has provided financial and logistical support to some rebel groups. Israel, on the other hand, has carried out numerous airstrikes against Iranian and Hezbollah targets in Syria in recent years. With UAE now in the fold, Israel may have a greater leeway to conduct military operations in Syria without fear of an Arab backlash. The UAE and Israel have never fought against each other or are viewed as traditional enemies. Therefore, it is worth tempering expectations regarding the effect of this deal on a regional security. However, the Abrahamic Accords do represent a significant shift in the political dynamics of the Middle East. Despite these potential risks, the normalization of relationship between Israel and Abu Dhabi is a significant development in the Middle East. It demonstrates that long-standing regional conflicts can be resolved through dialogue and negotiation rather than violence. It also highlights the shifting power dynamics in the region, with smaller states like UAE and Qatar taking a more assertive role in regional politics. This may challenge traditional powerhouses like Saudi Arabia and Iran, which are grappling with its own internal challenges. Ultimately, the success of the Abrahamic Accords will depend on whether it can inspire other countries in the region to follow suit. If more Arab countries overcome their differences with Israel and work towards a stable Middle East, it would be a major breakthrough. In conclusion, the Abrahamic Accords between UAE and Israel represent a historic breakthrough in the Middle East. While there are risks and uncertainties associated with the deal, it has potential to shift the power dynamics in the region and pave the way for greater regional cooperation and stability. Only time will tell whether this landmark agreement will lead to a more peaceful and prosperous Middle East. But for now, it represents a glimmer of hope in a region that has been racked by conflict and instability for far too long. Thank you.